Welcome back to Supremely Black Podcast. This is your host, D Rose. If you are new to the channel, do me a favor and subscribe. If you're watching this video, hit the like button. That's actually what helps my channel grow and gets my message out to more people. So what we're going to be covering today is Tyre Nichols. The 5 officers went to court on Thursday. 3 of those former Memphis police officers were found guilty on federal witness tampering charges in the fatal beating of Tyre Nichols, which is a 29-year-old man that was driving home, I think, from work, and when he was beaten to death by police officers, right? So 3 of those officers were charged with the witness tampering, but all 3 of those defendants were acquitted of the most serious charge, which was violating his civil rights by causing a death. So what that means is that they will still be charged with the witness tampering, but with the most serious charge being violating his civil rights by causing his death, that was the actual charge that could have landed them a life sentence in prison. Now, the other charges still could combine, depending on their age. They may not make it out, may not be able to parole, but they did or were acquitted from the most serious charges, right? So one of the officers, Demetrius Haley, was convicted of a lesser charge of violating Mr. Nichols' civil rights by causing bodily injury. Doesn't seem like much. It's still a conviction, but it does not remember, it does not hold the life sentence that would have been held if all 3 of them would have been charged for that now. So Mr. Haley, Tadarius Bean, and Justin Smith, and 2 of the other former officers who pleaded guilty to the role in the violence still face additional state charges, including second-degree murder. So what that means is that depending on what the state limits are in regards to, excuse me, what they can charge them for in the max penalty with second-degree murder is going to be based off of everything that we actually seen from the videos that were released. And so that's going to be based on the jury and what they decide. Okay, was this second-degree murder? Will they want to lessen those charges to whether that's a manslaughter, however you want to look at it? But as of now, those are the murder charges that are going to be held. Is that right now it's a second-degree murder. So what is interesting to me is that with the witness tampering is what did they actually do? And I'm going to be wanting to know of getting into those specifics of, okay, what witness did they try to bully somebody into changing their statement? Was it some of the emergency people that pulled up on the scene that they were told not to do X, Y, and Z? Was it some of the people that were in the area that were considered witnesses that were within the vicinity of where Tyreek had basically when they had completely stopped them, and you seen the video, and were beating them? So those neighbors, the people that came outside and witnessed, I want to know if they were going to actually specifics of who did they try to tamper with or bully, etc. But we may never know that. I'm pretty sure that may end up being sealed just for protection of the people that may have came forward and said, these officers approached me, or they had someone approach me to try to get me to recant my statement. A lot of different things, man. But my thoughts and prayers still goes out to Tyre Nichols and the family and the community that was impacted by this, because I was actually having this conversation with someone. I don't think that this case really garnered a lot of attention as it did because of what it looked like. It was 5 police officers that had stopped him and beat him, and it was a black man that they had killed. It did not, to me, fit the narrative or the agenda that's typically pushed, but it's still extremely important because this was another young black man, 29 years old, that lost his life to the hands of police brutality. But this is a huge win for the family, and you will see with some of the statements and some of the things that will come out is that the family and some of the friends and stuff were in shock that there were actually a conviction. To me, I had no question that there would ever be a conviction. I don't think it was anything erased. I think it was just more or less of just timing and how it occurred. This was a man that was not armed. This was a man that was running. This was a man that was actually trying to get to his mother's house because he just did not feel something was right in regards to how the stop went. Now, as the trial continues to go on and we see more things, there will be information that comes out, but there was never any threat that Tyreek gave to them besides evading because he felt uncomfortable in regards to how he was being handled. Hell, we seen how he felt uncomfortable based off of how the arrest went. Somebody's walking up on the car talking about, I will, you know what, you immediately address coming to your car. Anybody in their right mind or wrong mind, if that's what you hear, you're going to react to it. He didn't have a gun. He wasn't trying to shoot him. He was evading him. So I think this is a huge win for the family. And for the 5 cowards that were in the suits, it was a huge black eye to our communities, because how we look at it is hard enough for us to maneuver and do certain things in general in dealing with police issues, brutality, prejudice, things of that nature. But for it to come from 5 people that look exactly like you, I'm not thinking that this is going to be what you're going to think that police brutality would look like. But this is also an eye-opener to always say and realize that all your skin folk is not your kinfolk, and this is just a true example of that. Just because we share the same hue or complexion does not mean that you have my best interest. And in this particular case, we've seen exactly of how this ended Tyre Nichols' life. So at the moment, huge win for the family. Cannot get Tyre back, but getting justice for him and not letting his name go in vain, major salute. And I will be keeping you all updated on it. It's going to be some more follow-ups. Like I said, they still have a court date. They have some other stuff that's going to be coming out, so we'll see what they actually get charged with. As always, long live CC. I'm out.